up this morning. Political communication analyst says comments by NPP running mate Dr. Matthew PokuPrer on Dr. Kwame Nkrumah is a slap in the face of caution given by the Asantehene. Meanwhile, Dr. Matthew PokuPrer calls on NPP supporters in the Ashanti region to give the party 85% votes in the December polls. We have details as Minister of State designates at the Energy Ministry vetted with one-sided majority. Details of these and many more coming up shortly. Please do stay with us. We start with politics. The Asantehene has admonished Dr. Matthew PokuPrer to be dutiful as he assumes the running mate position of the New Patriotic Party. Otumfuo Osei II made the remarks when the party presented its running mate to him to seek for his blessings as they prepare for the December 7 elections.
So my main control, Dr. Baumia, no who you are, and I don't know what you are. Okay, I know quite some quality that you better one. I was all year. Paho Brasia, what the HNA and the Kama Mammy. You are sitting at you are no better one a year. A by a think Gropovis when inside the Messia Aquale, Metitin with fear men who said the antin and Naya Casa, the air cano, media messa with his antissa.
We're saying politics and flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has described the December 7 general elections as a choice between the future and the past. At the unveiling of the running mate, the Vice President expressed that the party is now a well-oiled machine ready for the 2024 elections.
We are now a well-oiled machine for the 2024 presidential campaign. Election is a choice between former President John Mahama and the current flag bearer and Vice President Dr. Bawumia. That is the choice. A choice between the future and the past. The past president won't honor the president paying, and he failed. Me a vice president, me president. But Obieji to me say, me, I am the most effective vice president in the history of Ghana. Obia Ejitum, and this is for Ojitum. Vice presidents are about Ghana have from independence. Unya vice president away Juma as seen Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. Let me say without any fear of contradiction that MPP, our performance on the economy is superior to John Mahama's performance on the economy. Far superior. We share indicators now, and we will be getting into our records. They don't want to talk about records. We will talk about the record. Every area, virtually every area, we are superior in performance.
Meanwhile, the NPP running mate Dr. Matthew PokuPrer, in his first public address after his unveiling in the Ashanti region, called for 85% votes for the party in the region. He has, however, come under intense criticism over comments he made, saying that no other president has developed the country like President Akufo-Addo, not even Dr. Kwame Nkrumah.
And then, someone Messedai, Mudianaba. Someone come and warm me and said Dr. Bawumia, and then Akufo-Addo and Nimonyama, Ebinya day, and come it. Eti Yabasum, Yabasum, Yabakofia. I could send another Akufo-Addo in my poor year. I'm a Dr. Bawumia and Dr. Bawumia, to be a Jackass, you're 12 man. Young person with 10% was as we do. Which President Minister Cow said, I deal with fear. Yes, I deal with fear. I deal with fear. 85%. You're past 75 in the bureau. We see your per day.
85%.
We see your per day.
85%.
Outside the better 85 no. And then pay for the master there. Obia wa MPP mu. Ah, sin fiam watching. Obia the bonnet. Obia Cassetiano. The Bibia Sinti on TV Dano. One case of straight chain yada. Or searching yada. How the
Well, political communications analyst Professor Kobi Mensah says comments by the MPP running mate Dr. Matthew PokuPrer about Dr. Kwame Nkrumah only confirms the arrogance tag placed on him.
It is unfortunate that, I mean, the eminent, king would give you an advice and say that you were trained in this palace and that's not who you are, and just some few minutes actually prove him wrong. I think it's very, very unfortunate. He had actually disrespected the king because the king wanted you to prove people wrong, to say that you're not. But look at the statement. It is not about saying that Nana-Addo had performed better than Nkrumah. No, it's about the way and the manner he dismissed the former president, the global icon, with that derogatory comment. I don't think that anybody would say people are wrong when they say you are arrogant. It is exactly the kind of public engagement. It's exactly the kind of rhetoric that you have had, with the people of this country. Hence the tag that you are arrogant. And I was just hoping, just as Otumfuo said, that he would disprove that. But of course, he's confirmed it. And I think that is very unfortunate.
Now, away from politics, the Speaker of Parliament has directed the Interior Minister to investigate the brutalization of civilians by immigration staff at the Aflao border. Now, Parliament is unanimous in condemning the act with a 3-week ultimatum to the Minister to report to the House by July 29. Viewers are cautioned that the images may be disturbing.
Beaten and brutalized, an amateur video captures the moment immigration officers subjected a middle-aged woman to severe abuse. It is unknown what the offenses, as the video has trended on social media. The Member of Parliament for the Ketu South constituency is enraged as she has dragged the matter to the floor of Parliament.
Citizens deserve to feel safe from violence, particularly at the hands of those entrusted with our security. The blatant disregard for the dignity and rights of a citizen in this manner is simply unacceptable. Under no circumstances whatsoever should armed uniformed personnel resort to physical attack, violence, and causing harm of any kind to unarmed citizens, especially so under unprovoked circumstances.
MPs have recounted the experience with immigration service officers, urging a swift action on their conduct.
We should summon the minister responsible for the interior here to give us an account or a report of what indeed has occasioned this. And then the House, if we are not convinced or persuaded by what the minister comes to tell us, can take the matter to another level. When I see an immigration officer with AK-47 in his hand and using his left hand assaulting a woman in the woman's constituency, that is not what we arm them for. Is it the case that I'm supposed to believe that today immigration officials are supposed to become like the army, another version of the army, holding AK-47, roaming communities in this country? There could be a situation where specific issues could lead the immigration officers into community to conduct special operations. We agree on that. But Mr. Speaker, I'm telling you, I come from a near border situation, and the immigration officials, some of them, their conduct are becoming different from what the Immigration Service asked them to do.
Distraught, the Speaker has issued his directive.
I want to reiterate the directive, and I want to call on the clerk to act immediately by communicating the statement and the audiovisual to the Minister of Interior and call on him to take immediate action and to report back to this House not later than the 29th of July 2024.
On to some more stories now. The Minister of State designate at the Energy Ministry has revealed plans by government to secure funding from the African Development Bank for the provision of solar energy for public hospitals, schools and other government agencies. Appearing before the one-sided majority of the Appointments Committee, Herbert Crapper assured of a stable power supply.
The vetting will set again. The minority registered their protest, boycotting it subsequently.
Consistent with the minority's earlier position, the caucus will not participate in the vetting of any ministerial nominee that adds to the already side of the Baumia government.
Vetted by not more than 5 MPP MPs, the nominee, who is also the Deputy Minister of Energy, outlined his vision. Being elevated to the Minister of State position, the Electricity Company of Ghana recently threatened to disconnect 91 hospitals from the national grid due to outstanding debts owed the power company.
Ministry of Energy, together with AFDB and other donor partners, is taking the lead to really put solar, give solar energy to some of the government agencies. And we're going beyond MMDAs to include schools, hospitals, essentially government agencies.
The Volta River Authority announced its intention to engage with relevant stakeholders regarding the potential spillage. During his vetting by the Appointment Committee of Parliament, Herbert Crapper acknowledged that lessons have been learned from the damages caused by last will be applied to minimize.
Plan VRA is going ahead with a to mitigate the impact of the spill and also ensure the integrity of the dam will be executed according to plan.
Now, barely a year after thousands of people were affected by the twin dam authority VRA, another possible spillage of water from the Akosombo Dam. This has left residents worried and in fear.
The community is not ready, because VRA has not given us a clear message. And so VRA has also not one-on-one meeting. Notice that there will be a stakeholder engagement, of which we are waiting for them. If there's going to be a spillage, our readiness will mean that our people should have a place to be before the flood or the water comes. That is when we will be ready. Where are they moving to? There should be some structures or some way for them to move from where they are. They are not going to. Their livelihoods, their normal daily activities are going to cease.
In fact, it is disheartening, because what we experienced last year, which there was no proper engagement with the community members, and now we don't know what to do, because there was this spillage, and till now, VRA doesn't come to sit with us and what, for us to know what they have on board for us, including the government itself. And the people are dying. Right now, there were no logistics being so that when this village, the community members, they should go and relax somewhere. We'll do the spillage again, and we have been flooded. Where are we going?
It is pathetic, but we cannot stop them not to spill. But it depends on how they engage the community and make sure that adequate preparation have been done before they do. We have to sacrifice for the worker. So that if you do not speak, it will affect the dam. That is correct. People in town are very happy, including me. which I've lost 52,518 catfish that I was preparing to harvest in December. It have all gone. And myself, I'm automatically unemployed.
Let's do some education stories now. And the West African Examinations Council, WAEC, has disclosed that no record of malpractices among candidates have been reported across the country since the basic examination certificate examination began on Monday, July 9, 2024, attributing this to WAEC's decision to use its own printing press to process the examination papers. The head of WAEC's Public Affairs Department, John Kapi, says the council will not relent on its efforts to ensure the examination process is well coordinated and in a smooth and fair manner. Ekuafo Dako has more.
Some few more days to go, BEC candidates and invigilators are being cautioned against indulging in malpractices following the arrest of 5 invigilators in the Ashanti and Bono regions by police for aiding students to cheat.
With the arrests, it tells us that we've actually intensified our security, and the security personnel we have at the various centers are doing their job. If we didn't have security, I'm sure that all these guys would simply have gone through with whatever they wanted to do.
Candidates of the Basic Education Certificate Examination, BECE, noted that they are hopeful about completing, although some of the exam papers were quite difficult to answer.
It was good, but if you don't learn, you find it difficult to answer.
Which of the subjects?
Science especially.
We use our mind to create something. We are hoping for a good grade and a better school.
So far, the paper was kind of hard, easy, yeah. But really, the section A is really hard, yeah. The science wasn't hard, but it was the RME rather.
The science section B was a bit difficult. So was the ICT section B. But apart from that, I think everything went well.
On the issue of students' preparedness ahead of the BECE, some of the candidates said they were prepped well enough by their teachers to take the exams.
They should keep up their good work because whatever they taught us came and it was okay, yes.
I think the teachers should do more. They should prepare the students properly. Like they should go through everything well.
The preparations in class have gone well. Our teachers have done their best, and we are here to make them proud.
The head of WAEC's Public Affairs Department, John Kapi, says security measures have been strengthened with the collaborative efforts of its stakeholders, including parents, to enable the final year students transition successfully into the next phase of their educational life.
We had a lot of other people who were coming on board besides our personnel and our locally recruited monitors. We also have national security, we have NIB, we have the Ghana Police Service. We also have personnel from the Ghana Education Service and NAT who are monitoring these exams across the country. So I believe that with the measures we've put in place, we've been able to pick up a few people who have chosen not to go by the rules of the game.
WAEC is admonishing all invigilators to commit to their duties within the last few days of the BECE and ensure that the candidates answer their questions independently without any interruptions. Ekuafo Dako, TV3 News, Accra.
Now, the National African Peer Review Mechanism is set to establish the Africa Credit Ratings Agency to provide a reliable assessment of African nations. This was announced at a media briefing on technical retreat of African Union member states, experts on credit ratings under the APRM. Emmanuel Samani reports.
The African Peer Review Mechanism, APRM, has taken a significant step towards enhancing the economic stability of the continent with the planned establishment of the Africa Credit Ratings Agency. The agency aims to offer a credible and accurate assessment of credit worthiness of African countries, which is expected to improve their economic governance and sovereign debt management.
The recent downgrades of Ghana and other African countries by global rating agencies, described by our president as reckless, have brought to light the urgent necessity for Africa to develop its own rating agencies. These agencies will be better attuned to the unique economic context
and challenges faced by African nations.
The technical retreat held at the Dr. Obeda Salma Conference Hall gathered experts and officials from various AU member states. The focus was on sharing insights, best practices and strategies for improving credit ratings with a strong emphasis on the anticipated impact of the ACRA.
It was the APRM's view that the speculative comments and the rating actions by international rating agencies in the first half of 2022 materially contributed, we underline that, materially contributed to Ghana's loss of access to international financial markets. The opinion that was issued compounded the complexities of the economic recovery process and rendered the fiscal measures that were being undertaken by the government at the time ineffective.
The APRM's initiative to establish ACRA is in response to the 2017 AU Assembly of Heads of State and Government decision which mandated the APRM to support African countries in this domain.
ECA's commitment to providing relevant analysis and policy recommendations can be exemplified by the launch of the African Sovereign Credit Rating Report twice a year in collaboration with the African Peer Review Mechanism. And this comprehensive report offers insights into the trends, determining factors, and also interpretations of sovereign credit ratings in Africa.
The creation of ACRA marks a significant milestone in the APRM's ongoing efforts to foster economic progress and stability in Africa. The agency is poised to provide the much-needed reliable assessments that will help African nations attract better investment opportunities and manage their sovereign debts more effectively.
Now, it appears the latest court ruling by the International Arbitration Tribunal regarding the unitization of oil fields has received varying interpretations. Now, the tribunal in its ruling determined that the Ghana government breached its own petroleum agreement in the manner in which it went about the unitization. That's more in this 3 Business report.
Determined that Ghana breached the petroleum agreement by not adhering to the agreed-upon procedures or failing to fulfill specific obligations related to unitization. The dispute revolves around the unitization of the Afina and Sankofa oil field, which refers to the process of combining adjacent or overlapping oil fields or reservoirs that straddle different license areas into a single unit for more efficient and optimal resource extraction. However, moments after the ruling, Ghana's Attorney General Godfred Yeboah-Dame thinks differently, saying the tribunal had rejected an alleged $7 billion compensation claim made by ENI and Vitol against Ghana's government and its state oil company over the unitization. But in a joint statement issued by ENI and Vitol, the oil firms say they feel positive about the decision by the International Arbitration Tribunal regarding the unitization dispute. Benjamin Boachi is Executive Director of Africa's Center for Energy Policy, ACEP.
As long as Ghana does not arbitrarily take actions that undermine the interests of the claimants, those financial commitments or damages will not arise. And that is where we are. There was no ruling on whether that money should be paid now or not. It was just to state that Ghana did not proceed with the actions that it had outlined, and therefore no money was owed for it.
But what will this mean for Ghana's oil and gas industry going forward?
We need to take action to really signal the investor community that we will not be this arbitrary in our engagements with them. And that requires the government to appreciate that. And that's what we're hoping, that the Attorney General and the government would have apologized for what they have taken Ghana through, in the past 6 years.
That's our wrap up the 6 a.m. news right here on TV3. My name is Judith Brown. We'll go for a short break. We'll be back with the rest of New Day. Good morning.